Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. Why don't I make evergreen content, Perna? The last week in the NFL has seen more high-profile moves and trades than we usually get in an entire year, and I can't keep up. I can't keep up with Tom Brady. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, retiring and unretiring. I already did a video about Tom Brady returning to the Buccaneers. Today is about where Deshaun Watson's going to go. Looks like the Panthers or the Saints are the top two teams interested in Watson, but don't count out the Browns just yet. Kirk Cousins sticking with the Vikings. Other extensions happen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do football news. That's good sports. Hey, if you love coffee, a great way to support this channel is by purchasing my coffee. That's right, my coffee, Benchwarmer Brew at benchwarmerbrew.com. This is craft coffee, ethically sourced, and if you sign up for the subscription service, you'll save 25% off each order. You can schedule the subscription of your coffee however you want, so check it out, benchwarmerbrew.com. While Tom Brady was returning to the Buccaneers, the Vikings extended Kirk Cousins, hoping nobody would notice. Well, guess what, Minnesota? We noticed. Vikings fans all offseason, how do we get rid of Kirk Cousins? The Vikings, by keeping him for another year at $35 million fully guaranteed, with 2 voidable years after that to lower his cap hit this year and next year. Unfortunately, Vikings fans will not be able to void the next 2 years of their lives. All I'll say is I'm sorry, Vikings fans, but maybe this means your team is going to draft and develop a quarterback from this draft class. I don't think that's a bad thing, and they can select a good guy in the first half of the second round. Now, Davante Adams will not play on his franchise tag, and the Packers have not given him a long-term deal yet. Adams apparently has told his teammates he's unhappy that a deal is not done yet, but the Packers and Adams have until July to figure it out, which is probably how long it will take for Green Bay to dig up all the money they need to pay him. Here, Mr. Adams, do you accept gold bars? Also, the Packers extended Preston Smith today, which Grossi and I talked about on GPS, but I'm sure seeing that doesn't make Adams super thrilled. Now, the Cowboys successfully traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to Cleveland, and shortly thereafter, Cleveland gave Jarvis Landry permission to seek a trade. Now, if Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were still together in New England, I'd bet $1 million that's where Jarvis Landry landed. He just feels like a classic Patriots underrated workhorse type receiver. Now, there are also reports, though, that Cleveland and Jarvis Landry are still discussing a contract restructure that could keep him in Cleveland, which is confusing. My question, why the fuck would he stay in Cleveland after getting granted permission to leave? That's like begging for a bathroom pass, and then as soon as you get it, staying in class. Because you just turned the page in your textbook and realized it's Female Anatomy Day. Well, one of the teams mentioned as being interested in Deshaun Watson is the Cleveland Browns. So maybe Jarvis Landry sees an incoming quarterback or an outgoing quarterback and is willing to wait that process out. The Chargers and Bears have agreed to send Khalil Mack to Los Angeles once the new league year begins, and that trade is another sign the Chargers may be ready to be aggressive in free agency and why they could land J.C. Jackson. Now in 2018, John Gruden traded Khalil Mack to the Bears and Amari Cooper to the Cowboys. And 4 years later, all those teams still are not winning that trade. 0 combined playoff wins for all 3 of those teams. I believe they call that a triple doink. Now the Raiders trading of Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack is a weird situation where all teams involved could be criticized for the trade. But if you look at football a little more honestly, then I'd say the only loser in this 3-team discussion is the Raiders. And that's because they really didn't hit any slam dunk, grand slam, home runs with their first 3 rounders they acquired. Josh Jacobs, Damon Arnett, and Jonathan Abram. I'd rather have Amari and Mack than that trio. Also, you cannot expect an edge rusher or a receiver to change your team into a playoff winner, especially when your receiver isn't the guy who calls the quarterback draw with 14 seconds left in the game. Bottom line, both Cooper and Mack produced for their new teams, were good, very good at their positions, and you could argue Cooper was the best ball catcher Dallas had and that Mack for a stretch was the Bears' best defender. Hell, both teams got into the playoffs utilizing their trade pieces. So I think looking back on trades and going, oh, well, Dallas did win the Super Bowl, the Bears did win the Super Bowl, so they lost the fucking trade, they paid all that money, they're so stupid. I think that's a little bit narrow-minded, and that's kind of what I've been hearing. Trades work, but only if the team has a very good quarterback and can draft well year after year. Not sure any of those three teams really meet that qualification. Now, teams are usually trying to hit a win-now window when they make aggressive trades. Sometimes it works, like we just watched with the Los Angeles Rams, and sometimes there are 31 teams that miss the mark every year and don't win the Super Bowl, so you could say every fucking trade in the NFL is a loss. I think the Raiders fans, though, right now are pretty okay with the next guy I'm about to mention moving forward instead of Khalil Mack. Raiders edge rusher Maxx Crosby was extended 2 years to the day he got sober. Crosby inked a $95 million deal on the anniversary of his sobriety, meaning Crosby and I have the exact same dollar amount in mind needed to never drink again. $95 million. Since nobody else really wants to say it, Maxx Crosby currently is a more impactful player on the edge than Khalil Mack. And while I just ripped the Raiders for mismanaging all of the draft capital they accumulated via the Mack and Cooper trades, they did find key pieces for their team in later rounds of the draft. Crosby being the ultimate diamond in the rough. All right, Deshaun Watson. Texans QB Deshaun Watson was cleared of all criminal charges after a grand jury heard his case on Friday. And although the civil suit, featuring claims from 22 different women ranging from sexual misconduct all the way to sexual assault, still is in the process, everyone around the NFL believes Watson will be traded very soon. Watson could be found guilty in the civil suit, but that will just have financial ramifications, which is why the NFL is comfortable proceeding with Watson like nothing has happened. It's an ugly truth, but that's the way the business in the NFL works. Now, much like Antonio Brown, he could be suspended by the NFL still, likely 6 to 8 games in that range for conduct detrimental to the league. Brown quietly settled his sexual assault lawsuit towards the end of 2020, and nobody gives a shit anymore. Now, Watson is expected to command 3 first-round draft picks and more in the deal. If that ends up being true, then damn, the Broncos got Russell Wilson for a steal. More importantly, they didn't have to sell their soul to do it, which is the unlisted cost of trading for Deshaun Watson. And that's per his agent, and that's not how I feel. That's just part of the cost. Your soul. Who did Deshaun Watson thank, though, after not being charged?
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
That's right. Nothing will help you find Jesus faster than avoiding the possibility of going to prison. Second, of course, is winning a Super Bowl, and third, cheating death. I wonder if Deshaun Watson was thinking about Jesus, though, and paying for sex through booking massages. We don't know for sure if Watson ever acted nefariously via the massages, but we definitely know he paid for sex via massage services. That evidence is already out there.
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
And I just want to know what Jesus' stand on that subject is. That's what will follow Watson well after he's traded. The question of innocence. Now, Adam Schefter tweeted this. This is why Deshaun Watson, from the beginning, welcomed a police investigation. He felt he knew that the truth would come out, and today a grand jury did not charge him on any of the criminal complaints. Now, Schefter caught hellfire for that because this ruling did not equate to innocence. It did determine that a grand jury did not feel there was enough evidence to charge him, which in the NFL means the trade is open. Now, which teams are going to make a strong trade offer for Deshaun Watson? Well, 2 who will get to speak to him first are the Panthers and the Saints. and they have already made offers to Houston for Deshaun Watson. Now, right now, Deshaun Watson wants to meet with all of the teams who are seriously considering trading for him, and since he has a no-trade clause, he controls where he goes. Watson, though, he's going to get a chance to talk with the Panthers and Saints before making a decision. And they've already made offers to Houston for Watson, so that those parameters are in place. Right now, Deshaun Watson wants to meet with all of the teams who are seriously considering him, and since he has a no-trade clause, he controls where he goes. The other player might be the Cleveland Browns, and to a much, much lesser extent, maybe the Seahawks sneak in on the back end, and I think the Steelers are out. The Panthers want Watson the most, so we'll start with them. But based on Watson's history, that probably means he's not interested. They have been in on making a play for Watson for over a year now, and in addition to the 6th overall draft pick, they have Christian McCaffrey, who they could offer to the Texans. And the Texans, oh, they love them some Christians. I'd imagine Watson would love to have run CMC in the backfield, though, if he goes to Carolina. DJ Moore is a dangerously underrated receiver there, so I like that pairing. And their defense was the strength of their team last year. Of all the teams who want Watson, the Panthers can offer the best compensation to the Texans with that 6th pick. I think the team who is the best fit for Watson is the Saints. But before Brady decided to come back, I would have given that nod to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints, well, they're having to do voodoo just to get their cap situation right. So that's why I would have given it to the Bucs. But New Orleans overall has a consistently dominant defense, basically providing Watson with the 2nd best defense he's ever had. Currently, that title belongs to his lawyer, Rusty Hardin. Michael Thomas will actually play this year, and Alvin Kamara in the backfield is a great back. The Saints need to add a receiver, but the issue is who might New Orleans send with their 3 draft picks to get the deal done, because apparently they'll send anyone. The Saints, of course, helped the Archdiocese with PR work in New Orleans for their pedophile scandal, so that's also a great sign for Watson. The Saints are very progressive in terms of possible crimes you've committed. If the Browns are able to find a trade partner for quarterback Baker Mayfield and Watson is open to Cleveland, then they jump to the top of the list as being the best roster for him to join. And again, the real reason Landry may rework his deal to come back. The addition of Amari Cooper, plus you've got Nick Chubb in the backfield, the return of David Njoku, plus a defense that needs just some help from the offense to be dominant in my opinion, and Cleveland looks very appealing. Again, I don't see Seattle as real players for Watson, but with the 9th pick in the draft, after Carolina, they can offer the best trade compensation. That's important to the Texans, but not necessarily Watson. Why would he do them favors if he wants out so bad? I also do not think anyone around the NFL looks at Seattle the way they are currently constructed and is like, yeah, that's a contender. Every big player has walked away from that organization disgruntled. Most recently, Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. But remember, Earl Thomas on his way out flipped him the bird. Richard Sherman wasn't thrilled when he left. So I'm not sure that's the organization or situation Deshaun Watson wants to go to. Unless the Seahawks didn't even have the courtesy to tell Bobby Wagner they were releasing him. Which is why the Seahawks make a ton of sense for Deshaun Watson, who also doesn't believe he needs to ask before release. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube, especially this week with free agency coming. There'll be lots of videos. We're going to get a ton of news. So turn on the notifications, turn off your brain, and watch my show. You don't need a brain to watch this show. That is a fact.